Welcome again to the Canada Credit Card Expert channel. Today we're excited to actually do something a little bit different than what we normally do. It's just information about, yes, credit card hierarchy. This is like categories, it's non-arbitrary. Basically, it's a system that we have devised to help you figure out what is the level of credit card you're actually holding, whether it's a basic one all the way to a top-notch one. In a very clear and precise manner, we're going to actually show you how the categories actually pan out. Well, we will actually take you on a journey and we'll show you how you could actually know whether your credit card is a very basic credit builder type of credit card, all the way up to the invitation only type of credit cards here in Canada. Well, without further ado, let's just start. Obviously, we're going to start with category 1. Category 1, well, MasterCard, Visa, Amex, well, basically MasterCard and Visa call it standard or classic. The annual fees vary. They could be anywhere from $0 to pretty much 79. However, the most important thing about Category 1 credit card is that they have no rewards and no perks. Pretty much it's a credit card that is built for you to build your credit, and then normally destined to end up in the hands of those who are either new immigrant students, people who don't have any credit in Canada, or else people who got like into bad credit, people who normally would have less than 600 credit score. These credit cards have no welcome bonus, no other features, but basically building your credit. Some of them, even most of them, would actually be credit cards that require some security deposit as collateral, that is safety for the bank in the event you default. And then you start paying them. And as you pay them, you build your credit. And there are actually three major issuers, banks that actually issue these cards: the Refresh, Home Trust, and we got Capital One as well. On top of it, you could actually, there is a link at the bottom that actually gets you to watch a little bit more about bad credit or building credit, Category 1 credit card. Next in line is Category 2. Well, this is actually very, very common. A Category 2 credit card is one that actually helps you get on the ladder, and a lot of people can actually start with Category 2 or even 3 or even 4. However, Category 2 are very, very discernible for the fact that their annual fees are normally zero. That means that you don't pay any fees. However, in return, you do get some basic, very basic insurances and very minimal rewards. Just on a point of clarifications, when we actually talk about rewards, we are talking about what you get, the ratio you get on your spending. When we talk about perks, it's basically added benefits. Perks could be anything from high-end insurances to lounges to all sorts of other special features that the card would actually have just because you hold the card. So again, the category 2 would have minimal rewards, pretty much no perks, very basic insurances, and other than that, their credit fee would actually be normally zero. We could just give you just an example of what type of basic, ultra basic insurances we are talking about. We're talking about purchase security, CDW, which is a car rental, basic travel accident insurance of up to 100,000. That is very common for category 2. And on top of it, we could name, say, the CIBC no fee Aventura card as a basic one, as well as the Amex Simply Cash. Basically, we're talking about income requirement of roughly 0 to 15,000 a year, and a credit score at the very, very at the low end of the requirement, which is 620 to 650. So there we go, and we are just moving up the ladder into a little bit more formidable credit card in terms of what you get out of them. These are the category 3 ones. The credit cards in category 3 for MasterCard are called World. So if you have a MasterCard World credit card, you have a category 3 one. If you have a standard one, you would have a category 1 or 2. The same works for Visa. Visa would actually call these Platinum. There is a very big range of platinum Visa cards, and these are considered category 3. Category 3 would normally cost you 30 to 120 a year, and now you're going to actually have some rewards. Rewards could be anything like points, miles, other type of cashbacks that you're actually earning as you spend on the card. Normally these cards will require 650, and we could actually think about slightly better insurances for these cards. We're talking about slightly elevated travel accident insurance, normally 250 to 500,000, and then we have some other assurances that you wouldn't have on a category 2 one. The welcome bonus, you will get a welcome bonus. It will be a mid-range welcome bonus, but we will definitely have one. And a great example of this type of credit card is the MBNA Platinum Plus of Alaska Airlines. It's a MasterCard, and yet it's still Platinum Plus of MasterCard is equivalent to MasterCard World. That will be a typical Category 3 one. And basically, you can think about the Desjardins Cashback World MasterCard, which would also be a Category 3. And again, we're talking about Category 3 is still a low to mid-range type of income required. Onwards to Category 4. Category 4 is a very, very common household type of credit cards that actually start to give you some more serious type of rewards and indeed a little bit of perks as well. MasterCard or Visa would actually have a minimum of 60 or 80,000 a year. MasterCard will call these cards World Elite. Visa will call them Infinite. And Amex, for example, we call them the Gold Card. The Gold Card is a typical Category 4 one. On a point of interest, MasterCard actually does not have anything which is actually higher than World Elite. So MasterCard will have the World Elite Category 4, 5, and 6, as we're going to see in the next few moments. However, in the meantime, just for you to know, you will end up paying $99 to $175 annual fee on these cards. The rewards will be better. I mean, the ratio for your spending will go higher than the ones on Category 3, let alone Category 2. And you start having some perks, very, very minimal lounges, some other features that you normally wouldn't have with Category 3. Other than that, you would definitely have to have a slightly better credit score, anywhere between around the 680 mark. Some banks would actually allow you slightly less, 650, but I mean, at the end of the day, 680 is a benchmark for Category 4. And in terms of insurances, the major feature of Category 4 card is medical travel insurance. That is emergency, and that is an extremely important insurance that you would normally get only in Category 4 and up. Other than that, the welcome bonus would definitely be a very, very impressive one. Category 4 is where you start seeing a difference in terms of a welcome bonus. And other than that, you can actually think about all Visa Infinite range. All cards are actually named Visa Infinite, as well as the Amex Gold, as we mentioned. And one last fact about Category 4 is that we do actually have 3 credit cards that are MasterCard World Elite Category 4 that are no annual fee whatsoever. So that is pretty amazing, especially with the travel medical insurance you get with them. So just to mention, we got the World Elite MasterCard, the Rogers Cashback, and then we got the World Elite MasterCard by PC and Canadian Tire World Elite MasterCard. So that is Category 4. So moving on to Category 5. Category 5, we're talking about pretty much all the Visa cards that are named Visa Infinite Privilege. World Elite MasterCard, you know in a few seconds how to differentiate Category 4 and 6 from Category 5. They are all World Elite MasterCard. And with Amex, we're talking about the Platinum cards or the Reserve cards, which are the branded Category 5 credit cards. In terms of annual fees, we're talking about $299 to $899. And one more feature in Category 5. In Category 5, you start seeing metal cards. Metal cards are actually only available for Category 6 and a little bit in Category 5. In Canada, we have roughly 10 of these Category 5. most notably the Amex Platinum one, which some of you might have heard of, which has a business version as well. However, at the same time, the main difference between Category 5 and Category 4 is the perks rather than the rewards. The rewards are marginally better. However, in terms of perks, you would get much, much more. So let's just remind you what are the rewards. We talked about it briefly earlier. Rewards are essentially the ratio, the earning ratio, what is being earned and what is the ratio per dollar spent. The perks are essentially, we could divide them into two: insurances and perks, which are essentially travel benefits. It could be fast track in airports, it could be lounge access, it could be hotel status, it could also be specified discounts on some type of products or some type of merchants. It could also be club membership, different club memberships of different categories, etc., etc. So whether you talk about this status or you're talking about membership or you're talking about lounges, when it comes to perks, category 5, where you start to see significant elevation of what you've got. Very similar to category 4 being an enhanced category for insurances. So category 4 is where you start seeing, for example, in the very few cards that we have in Canada, mobile device insurance. But pretty much category 4 is the benchmark for travel medical insurance, so which comes with a card. So again, if you have a category 5, the insurances would be marginally better, if at all. But then when it comes to perks, this is really the main thing for category 5. And category 5 would definitely cost you a little bit more money. So as we mentioned, we are talking about an elevation to what you've got so far when it comes to category 4. So you essentially talk about all Visa Infinite privilege. We can think about different type of people are being catered to, and we are talking about a benchmark of 720 when it comes to credit score, with people who earn mid to high type of incomes. Now, without further ado, let's move to category 6. Now, category 6, essentially in Canada, we have only 3 of those credit cards. We can talk about the Jade by HSBC World Elite MasterCard, the Amex Centurion, which is what we call the Amex Black Card, and the RBC Visa Infinite Privilege private banking one. Now, these 3 cards are all metal, and they all have one thing in common. They are high net worth people with invitation only or high net worth, that is having a lot of money in the corresponding bank. So we're talking about very exclusive cards. So the main thing for category 6 is essentially exclusivity. And we talk about annual fees that run in the few hundreds to 2,500 in case of the Centurion. So we're talking about pretty much very, very exclusive, very unique cards. And again, we're talking about 3 credit cards in Canada. That's all we got in category 6. And the main thing for category 6 is, as we said, perks exclusivity. So you get a little bit better perks in category 5, and you do get a little bit more status. So if you're looking into that, you would probably have to have either a lot of money or a lot of history with Amex, so you could get an invitation, certain minimum spending on the card. Very few people in terms of percentage. However, just for you to know that category 6 exists. However, this is not a general type of apply online and get the card. This is actually a more specified credit cards that you would only get if you are in having the relations with these banks. So since we actually touched on all these categories, we actually have something for you to illustrate this video, so you see clearly what are categories in terms of rewards, in terms of perks. So let's just have a look at the BMO cashback line of credit cards, and it corresponds to the branding, the MasterCard general branding, which normally corresponds to category 2, the World MasterCard category 3, and the World Elite category 4. So as we mentioned earlier, annual fees 0.79 and 120. Again, corresponding to categories 2, 3, and 4, and the same goes for earning ratio 1.25 and 1.5%. So again, you go up the category, you go up the annual fee, and you do go up when it comes to earning ratio, and as well when you actually apply the minimum income required, as you see on the table. So again, you do actually see different rewards different standards for application, different annual fees, and here we even have different perks. So you see category 2, which is the MasterCard, basic MasterCard, would have no perks actually attached to this credit card. And when it comes to perks with category 3 and 4, you see that they've been elevated. You have the CDW, car rental, you have some basic roadside assistant membership, and then you have a full club membership in category 4. And on top of it, the category 4 one, which is the World Elite, would even get you 8 days travel, medical, and emergency insurance on top of it. So very, very clear how categories 2, 3, and 4 of the very same line of credit cards, a very same cashback rewards type of currency, they are all the same line of cards, yet they do have different applications. So different applications when it comes to income, rewards, and perks. So hopefully now you are all experts in understanding different categories of credit cards and understanding how they all been lined up and marketed. So you know what is best and next for you. So if you really liked it, we do have a subscribe version at the bottom of this video. And by all means, you can even click the bell to get notified. So we are going to see you very, very soon.